Good morning, Ollie Goeldner with your 8:30 Hunt News update. Power has been restored to nearly 8,000 homes across Newcastle following an unplanned outage. Households from Newcastle East to Merewether and Hamilton were without power for just over an hour this morning. Ausgrid crews worked to quickly fix the outage, with the final lights going back on at 7:45. Two former mine sites in the Hunter are set to be rezoned for new industries, including renewable energy and manufacturing. Two areas at the Mount Arthur coal mine in Muswellbrook will be rezoned once it closes in 2030, with new developments expected to create nearly 6,000 new jobs. The Macquarie Coal Complex has also been outlined in the rezonings, with at least 500 hectares to be redeveloped to host around 1,100 workers. A recommendations report on the pilot project will be handed down by the end of the year, outlining a clear reform agenda for other post-mining land use opportunities. Workers at Wombo Washery have been locked out of their jobs for the second time in 2 months. Yesterday, mine owners Peabody Energy met with mining and energy union members for a bargaining meeting to finalise pay agreements. The company proposed a final annual salary of $219,000 for day and night roster workers by the end of a 4-year agreement. However, the union says a $234,000 salary would be more suitable. Due to the disagreement, Peabody have launched another 2-week lockout of workers, barring them from their roles and pay. With mine closures causing significant economic changes in the Hunter, Muswellbrook Council has announced they'll be changing their organisational structure. Following the recent job losses at Ashton Coal Mine, Council will establish a new Economic Investment Directorate to help alleviate pressures caused by similar incidents. Alongside it, they also announced they'll be establishing a new Corporate and Community Services Directorate for better delegation. Mayor Jeff Drayton says both directorates will work in tandem to make Muswellbrook a more attractive destination for potential residents.
The Corporate and Community Services Directorate will just put a bit more focus, a sharper focus on community service, customer experience, finance, procurement and property, that sort of thing. So again, as I say, if we want to attract people to come and live in our shire, we need to make sure that we're offering, the best possible service we can offer.
A motion will be put before Cessnock Council tomorrow calling for an objection to large-scale battery developments proposed in Rothbury. 2 projects have been outlined for Wine Country Drive by Ausgrid, set to support the region's transition away from coal-fired power stations and supply enough electricity for more than 36,000 homes. Councillor Suzanne Dixon is fronting the motion, requesting Council write to Cessnock MP Clayton Barr in disapproval of the development. However, Clayton Barr says he is still very much in support of the projects.
On an ongoing basis, they don't actually create too many permanent ongoing jobs, although, there will be 1 or 2 people required to monitor and maintain these particular sites. But anyone who wants to get in the front of, creating jobs in our local area, I am going to call that out as being silly.
Councillor Dixon has refused to comment on the matter. A $1.5 million lottery ticket purchased in Newcastle is still unclaimed. The lucky winner bought the ticket from Nextra at Katara Westfield, drawing one of 4 Division 1 winning entries in Saturday's lotto draw. The lot officials are urging anyone who purchased a Saturday lotto entry from the business to check their tickets. And a University of Newcastle study is looking to reshape health services for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander patients with a new cultural safety survey. Led by researcher Dr. Alyssa Elvidge, the Cultural Safety Scale project looks to seek feedback from Indigenous patients on whether their treatment at local hospitals was deemed culturally safe. The term relates to an environment in which one's free from discrimination and able to express their identity without fear of judgment. Dr. Elvidge says the results will allow for more comprehensive care practices in the future.
It asks questions about support services, but it also asks questions about interactions with staff. So it might even give us some information as to how we can improve things like trust or communication as well.
2NURFM Sport.
The Newcastle Jets will welcome the new inclusion of winger Joe Lolley in a fortnight's time. The 33-year-old will miss next Tuesday's Australia Cup match against Preston. Teammate Max Burgess says Lolley has a mind for football.
I've known Joe for many years and he's a football nerd. He loves the game. He really appreciates the finer details of the game, so it'll be great to have him on board for that reason as well.
Meanwhile, the Maitland Magpies will now look towards the NPLW season after adding more silverware to the trophy cabinet. The side claimed the State Cup over the weekend in a ruthless 5-0 victory over Broadmeadow. And Payne Haas has shut down rumours of a switch to the Kangaroos. The Broncos prop was touted to make a backflip to join the Australian side for this year's World Cup. The 26-year-old has since quashed those rumours, staying with Samoa. That's sport. I'm Darcy Mills.
And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.